This is demonstration of the Estonian e-voting system. My name is Kadri Humal-Ayal. I'm the Honorary Consul of Estonia in Kenya. I'm going to demonstrate to you the essence of e-voting, the way it is done in Estonia, though the elections that are currently ongoing are the European Union Parliament elections. This is the website of the Estonian Election Commission that tells us about the currently ongoing elections. It's available in Estonian, in Russian, and in English. The English version, though, does not allow one to vote on the English language environment, and so for that one needs to then proceed to an Estonian language environment. What allows for e-voting to take place in Estonia are some technical items, and these are: one, there is the ID card that comes with a chip that allows for high security transactions to take place in a secure manner. And the second item is a card reader that allows the card to be read with a laptop. This is a newer version of the card reader. There is also the older version of the card reader. Both of these connect to the computer and allow the card to be read and understood by the computer. And so e-voting can take place provided one has an Estonian ID card and one has a reader to be able to understand the card by the computer. And so just a couple of more things about the ID card. So these are the facts about the ID card. Currently in Estonia there are 1,211,006 active ID cards in use. For a population of 1.3 million, this is fairly high usage. As the ID card can be used for other things apart from just voting, so I'm going to show you what some of the other places that are available where one can use the ID card. First, banks have been using the ID card for quite a while, so most of the banks in Estonia accept it. All the government institutions allow one to interact with them using the ID card, and there are a variety of public services. And besides ID card as a mode of identifying oneself through electronic interaction, also mobile ID is accepted in some institutions, but not in all, as you can see from here. And there are also a number of private enterprises, learning institutions, etc., that allow one to interact with them using the ID card. So going to the elections, Estonia has been using e-voting system since 2005, when the first time e-voting was used in local elections, and at that point 1.9% of the voters who participated in the elections used the ID card and e-voting system. During the parliamentary elections 2011, the number rose considerably, with 24.3% using the e-voting methods, and during last local elections 21.2% used the e-voting system. To be able to do the voting, so if one now follows through the process of doing the voting, here it then allows one to download an app to connect to the election commission to be able to cast one's vote. I've already downloaded it. and so I'm just going to open it here. So it allows one to identify themselves either through an ID card or through a mobile ID. I'm going to demonstrate using my ID card, and so I'm inserting it into the reader that is now connected already to my laptop. And so that was the sound. The reader has picked up the card, and so I'm telling it to go ahead and use ID card. So it's now connecting to the central server, and it asks me for my PIN 1. With the Estonian ID card system, each ID card, when it's issued with 2 pins. The first pin is equivalent to presenting yourself and identifying yourself to an officer using a document. So they would verify that indeed the person on the document is the same person who's standing in front of them. So I'm now going to use the pin that allows me to identify myself as the person using the card, and that I am indeed Kadri Humal-Ayal as stated there. And so it's again connecting to the server in order to be able to identify that I am the correct person. So it has welcomed me to say indeed the person that it has recognized is Kadri Humal-Ayal. It tells me that I'm currently voting in 2014 European Parliament elections, and it says that these are official, this is an official voting that is taking place, and an electronically cast vote is considered equivalent to a paper ballot. And it also says that I have already voted, and it says that I can change my vote if I so wish, and it says that the vote that I cast the last is the one that will be counted as my official vote. So I proceed to make my selection. This is the list of candidates who are standing for the seats available to Estonia in the European Union Parliament. There are 88 candidates here. Some of them belong to parties, some of them are individual candidates, and Estonia has 6 seats in the European Union Parliament, and these are the candidates standing for that. So for the sake of this exercise, I'll say that I'm going to vote for Imbi Paju. Imbi Paju is a professional. She is a journalist, she is an author, and she is a film director, and I think she has the right qualities to represent Estonia in the European Union Parliament. So I will then say select, and it confirms again that for the European Parliament elections, my selection is Imbi Paju, candidate number 117, and so I confirm. And now it's going to ask me for the PIN, which is for signing. So this is a signature PIN that is the equivalent to if I was to sign on a paper, and so I say OK, and again it's connecting to the server in order to be able to verify that the PIN I've entered is correct, and so it has counted my vote. Now when it has now counted my vote, I'm then able to also identify in the server whether the vote that has been cast there is indeed the correct one that I have cast. And so for that I'm able to use an app that checks the code presented here, and so the QR code reader is part of what I'm able to use, and so it's right now reading the QR code. It has read the QR code, and it's saying that it's going to present the vote that it can see that I've given in the server system. And so it confirms that indeed the vote that is that I've cast in the system is for Imbi Paju. So I can close the apps, and thank you for watching.